Let's be honest. Nobody teaches you how to pay yourself when you become a 1099 contractor. I'm being honest. Of course, as a 1099 contractor, you start making more money than you ever did as a staff nurse practitioner. But somehow it doesn't feel like it. You're probably like, how are you making 100 plus an hour, 125, 145, but still stressed about money? The truth is, y'all, most nurse practitioners that are 1099 contractors never learn how to pay themselves right. So today I'm going to break down exactly how to pay yourself right as a 1099 contractor, how to separate your money, how to plan for taxes, and how to actually keep, my friend, keep more of what you make. Hey y'all, hey, it's Ebony. I am the founder of the Locumtenens Guide. I help nurse practitioners transition into 1099 contracting and build careers that give them freedom, flexibility, and financial independence. So I'm talking about working just 6 to 9 months out of the year, traveling whenever you want, and making money that pays you your worth without sacrificing your peace, without waiting for anyone's approval for time off, and without feeling like your life revolves around your job. Because when you learn how to pay yourself right as a 1099 contractor, you don't just make more money, you create options for yourself. You could take time off in between contracts. You could explore new business ventures and finally have the financial cushion to say yes to opportunities that align with you and not just one that just pay bills. That's it. So if you're tired of guessing your paycheck as a contractor, this one is for you. So a little bit about me if you're new here. When I started doing 1099 work, I thought I was all set. Y'all, I got my first check. It hit my account. I'm like, wow. Like literally wow. I had no boss. I made my own schedule. I had more money. I was eating out. I was traveling. I was shopping. I was living the best version of my life. You hear me? The best version of it. Not the last, the best version of it. Then tax season came around, good old tax season. If there's two things that we cannot avoid in life, it's death and taxes. We're going to get taxed regardless, right? Tax season came around and I owed $30,000 in taxes, and that was my reality check. And because I didn't have a system in place, I was operating like an employee with business income. Let me explain. Give me 1 second. If you're watching this right now and you're wondering why you're making great money, but your account balance never reflects this, I've been there. You cannot outwork poor structure. I had to learn how to manage my money like a business, not just receiving a paycheck every week, paying the bills, and keeping what's left over. And once I did that, when I talk about everything changed for me. Here's the mindset shift that separates broke contractors from profitable ones. You are the business. So remember, that role that the hospital or clinic played for you as a W-2 employee, you are now in control of that role. So when your agency deposits money into your account, it's not all your money. That's your business revenue. You get paid by your business. And once you start thinking that way, you start treating your money casually and you start managing it strategically, everything changes. So let's talk about it. Step 1. Separate your money. You need at least 2 accounts, one business checking account and one personal checking account. Your contract is going to deposit into that business account. You pay yourself as an employee outside of that. That's a legit paycheck into your personal account. All of your expenses and whatever you set aside for taxes, that remains inside the business account. So now you have an account that's a business account that's funded and a personal account which you funded out of the business. That one simple shift changes everything. When your money is clean and separated, you instantly see where it's going, how much is truly yours. Next, pay yourself consistently. Decide how often you want your paycheck schedule to run. And the good part about it is that unlike staff jobs where you typically get paid 2 weeks, you make that decision for yourself, right? Bingo. So you decide how often you want to pay yourself, whether you want to pay yourself weekly, whether you want to pay yourself bi-weekly, whether you want to pay yourself monthly, whether you want to pay yourself daily. I don't care which one you pick as long as you're consistent, because that consistency is what's going to bring you stability. Here's where most nurse practitioners do it wrong that are doing 1099 contracts, right? They will pay themselves randomly. A Zelle here, a Venmo here, maybe even Apple Pay, transfer when they feel like. But that's how chaos happens. And even keeping the whole entire amount, that's not it. That is not it. When you pay yourself right, you create predictability, and that's how you build confidence with your money. Now let's talk about knowing your numbers. This is where a lot of people get uncomfortable. You have to know your numbers. Every month you should be reviewing your profit and loss statement. You need to know what came in, what went out, what's left over. Whatever is left over is your true profit. Okay, that is your true income. After expenses, after you pay yourself, that is your profit in the business. Okay, and that's the portion that will be taxed. That is exactly why it's important to analyze your profits and loss statements every single month. So when you're selling yourself, when you're Venmoing yourself, or you're keeping all the money into your personal account, there's no differentiation between you and your business, because contracting is literally a business. It's a form of business. It's a business, and agencies are paying your business. Point blank, period. And as a 1099 contractor, when you don't have any differentiation in where your money is going, that's risky. And the IRS can clearly see that you're not operating right, and they will literally audit you and be like, now you owe thousands of dollars. You shouldn't be owing thousands of dollars in taxes, hands down. So if you are owing $30,000, $25,000, $40,000, $70,000, $80,000, that's because you did not structure yourself correctly. You did not create systems around your money. Knowing your numbers will give you control. It lets you decide if you can afford time off, if you can pick up another contract, or if it's time for you to pause or reset. It lets you make strategic decisions instead of emotional ones. Now let's talk a little bit about taxes, because this is where most contractors start to spiral, literally. I like to plan for taxes. So I like to use the 40, 30, 20, 10 method as a simple baseline, okay? And this can change. This can definitely change, but this is like a simple baseline. So 40% of that income is for business expenses, especially if you plan to start a business. You can use your 1099 contracting money to help fund that business, right? So the highest percentage might be 40%. 40% for business expenses, 30 to 35% for taxes, 20% for your paycheck, and 10% for your profit, right? So that 10% for your profit, that's your flip fund, I like to call it. So you can use it for savings, right? So that you can confidently take off a month or two in between contracts, or do 6 to 9 months out of the year, as I've been mentioning to you guys. Or use it to start something new that brings in passive income. So like one of my clients did exactly that. She used this method. She took her profit and she invested it into her CPR business that now is a 6-figure company, and now she works contracts on the side because she doesn't necessarily have to do it anymore. This is how you become work optional, right? And when you set this up the right way, tax season becomes more predictable for you, not painful. You know exactly what's coming, and you know how to keep more of what you earn. And when you start paying yourself the right way, you start showing up differently. You stop chasing shifts. You start building strategy. You stop operating from a space of survival and start operating from a space of structure, because you know exactly how much you want to make every year, exactly how much time you want to take off, exactly how to reduce your taxable income, and you have a long-term goal. Because I like to say this, right? You leave a burned out staff role to become a locum for freedom and flexibility. But if you're working constantly as a locum or 1099 contractor, whatever it is, most opportunities are locum opportunities. But if you're working consecutively back-to-back shifts, you're pretty much a burnt out gig worker. And we don't want that. So you have more of a plan for what it looks like, how long you want to stay in contracting. And you're never going back to working a W-2 because you've already been exposed to a structure that works. Paying yourself right is how you protect your peace. It's how you protect your profit. It's not just about making more money. It's about having control. It's about having freedom. It's about about building something sustainable outside of your normal career. We're not selling ourselves anymore, y'all. We're not doing that. I did that in 2019 and that cost me $30,000. We're not selling ourselves. We're not Venmoing ourselves. We're not Apple Paying ourselves and calling it a day. We are doing things the right way. The IRS favors small business owners and self-employed contractors, which is you. We're talking about understanding how the IRS views your contract work so that you can stay compliant, so that we can prevent audits, and we can, of course, stop overpaying in taxes, y'all. And if you're ready to take things a step further, if you want guided mentorship, if you want my team to help you install our system into your contracts, head over to my Instagram below and comment the word info so that you can get more info about that. So we'll reach out to you, we'll give you the details, and we'll help you navigate the 1099 world with ease. All right, y'all. So I hope this video helped you see how powerful it is to pay yourself the right way as a 1099 contractor. Drop a comment below if this opened your eyes, and let me know what part of money management you would like me to break down next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with another nurse practitioner who needed to hear this. There's certainly ways to make money outside of the traditional 9 to 5 and to really make more than what you've earned before. I'm just saying. I'll see you guys in the next one.